Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's online webinar, our first webinar at our YouTube channel at Pulse. So today's topic is all about finding the right local financial partner and opening bank accounts with our three guest speakers who will present today, which are Jean-Luc Bermes from Spuerkeess, Claude Hansen from Post, and also Christoph Stein from House of Entrepreneurship, Mutualité, Cautionnements. Before we get started, I would like to say a few words about Pulse, the Luxembourg Startup Association. So for those who don't know us, we are the only founder-driven organization that is actively lobbying and advocating for legislation that benefits startups to drive a change and make Luxembourg a more startup-friendly environment. So today we have around 260 startups who are members, but I do know that a lot of you are still not part of the Pulse community. So I would really like to take a moment to emphasize that being part of the association as a member strengthens our collective voice when we engage with governments, lawmakers, and other public authorities. Also, when you become a member and when you get part of the Pulse community, you can gain access to valuable resources such as legal documents and templates through our legal toolbox that we make available for the members. We also have networking events, physical ones, for example, next month on the 16th of April, where you will get more information, but it's a nice occasion to also engage with the startup community, meet entrepreneurs, founders, but also investors and VCs. And lastly, we also have a dedicated startup advisor program where you can get up to 5 hours of free advisory coaching session with different experts, but also experienced founders to discuss through one-to-one sessions about your challenges, how to make your startup more successful, and how to grow your business. And so if you want to know more about the Pulse Association, becoming a member, getting more into detail about everything what I just said, feel free to contact me after the webinar. And now I will just leave the floor to Claude from Post, who will start presenting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marielle. Hello to everyone. So my name is Claude Hansen. I'm in charge of the commercial department at Post Finance, and so it's a great occasion to explain how we might help you in your business and in your ventures with what we have to offer. My presentation will be very straight to the point. So basically give you some overview of who we are, of what we are doing, of how we might be able to help you, and obviously also give you some tips and tricks on how to facilitate your banking onboarding and relations. Very shortly, obviously Post is quite known in Luxembourg. I think I don't need to introduce the company anymore to any one of you. Obviously, everyone knows Post for its telecom and its ICT services. Postland Logistics, obviously, are also one of our core businesses. What very often is a little bit overlooked and maybe less well known is that we also offer financial services. We are not a fully fledged bank, but we still offer everything around payments. So basically current accounts, payment services, debit and credit cards, e-banking solutions, and so on. That's going to be basically the core of today's presentation. Also, before entering the topic itself, it's quite known that over the last months and more recently, there have been continuous discussions about the difficulty of opening up bank accounts in Luxembourg. So we see a number of political discussions, we see a number of discussions going on at Parliament, we see a number of articles in the press stating that it becomes more and more difficult, especially also for startups to open up bank accounts. And so obviously this is why we are here. This is why Jean-Luc from Spuerkeess and myself believe that we can give a helping hand on that topic. Also, this is very far long ago, in 1911, when our activity was founded. Already at the time, there was a difficulty to facilitating payment services and bank accounts to larger public. And so that's basically where we come from and what we've been doing since then. Also, over the last, more recently, since this public discussion on political level has come up, we've been teaming up, discussing with a number of associations in Luxembourg to see how we can help. So basically, here's a few examples with Independent Workers Union, with CLAE when it comes to NGOs and ASBLs. We had a number of exchanges with House of Entrepreneurship, with the Loft, and obviously also with Pulse and Luxembourg Startup Association, who also acknowledges that it's becoming an increasing difficulty to access to bank accounts for startups, and which is something where we definitely are open and willing to give a helping hand. I mentioned it before, where we come from and what we continue to do is to offer banking services for all, accessible services. And in our case, what does this mean? We don't have any minimum requirements when it comes to wealth, to revenue of the company that is being created or wants to open up a bank account. We do not refuse or resiliate relations for purely financial reasons or others. And we are obviously both there for existing entities, but also for companies in the setup phase. So that's also an important part, because since day one, or for the beginning itself, we can be of help. Also, I won't go into too much details, but what we strive to do, I mentioned it before, we don't have a fully fledged service offer as other banks. Our focus is on providing simple and accessible services to everyone, literally. What does this mean? Basically, everything is focused around, for professional customers, two packages, the Pro Pack and the Pro Pack Plus. Basically, the logic is the same. There's a fixed monthly fee, and it includes a number of advantages which we can discuss at a later stage. The important point is fixed monthly fee, no surprises, no hidden tariffs, and number of advantages already included. I think that's the main topic, and also the fact that this offer is indeed accessible to everyone. What obviously is important, we are a local actor, we are active only in Luxembourg. So for us, obviously, the focus is also on companies who have their headquarter and their activity in Luxembourg, which seems to make sense and is coherent. And obviously also to have on the shareholding side at least one of the beneficial owners based in Luxembourg or the neighboring countries. Attention points, and I believe Jean-Luc will certainly also touch those later on. For us, attention points does not mean that it's blocking factors or so on. It means that obviously if companies are active in high-risk activities, if shareholding structures have a certain degree of complexity, obviously there will be more questions asked and there will be more information or documentation to be provided. Regulatory aspects obviously also play a role, that's logic, and then for other reasons, US citizenships are topics which we also need to look a bit further into depending on the respective situation. Also, which might also help, the startup environment is very international one. What we try to do is to also give a helping hand when it comes to languages which are being spoken. So all of our pricing lists of our tariff structures are available in 13 or 14 languages meanwhile. So basically to allow everyone to understand the services we provide, but also the tariff structure which is behind. Onboarding side, that's I think the topic which is of quite some interest today. Once again, we try to simplify things. On our website, you find a number of information already depending on the customer profile you are, for self-employed people or for corporate customers, basically, where you can already find quite a number of information on how to open up a bank account. What we also try to do when it comes to the documentation part, we have what we call welcome packs, which basically cover both the administrative parts and the elements that need to be collected, but also guide you through the various processes and various steps. So basically it means that we try to give you a helping hand already in that phase and to also provide you with a number of definitions and explanations on how to fill in those documents. Very often, and it's a consequence of the regulation of the financial sector, people speak not necessarily the same language. We speak about beneficial owners, we speak about NASIC codes, we speak about the RBE and so on, etc. And the idea is really via those welcome packs also to explain all those nice wordings, to reduce the complexity in it, and to make sure that everyone actually understands what we and other banks are asking for, in order to be able to provide all the information required to open up a bank account and to have good knowledge and understanding of the customer profile and of its activities. And that's basically where you will find lots of tricks also and tips on how to move forward. How does this work in practice? Basically, the welcome packs, which you can find on our website, are the starting point. They guide you through everything which we need to know about you, about your activity. There will be a number of questions. There will be a number of documents that are being asked for. You will find checklists in those welcome packs, which also guide you through the various elements that will need to be provided depending on the situation of your activity and of your company, whether it's already existing, whether it's in the creation process. And it provides you with a lot of help to make sure that the welcome pack and all the information provided are as exhaustive, as complete as possible. And that's one of the major recommendations I can provide to all of you. All the banks need to understand the customers. They need to understand with whom they are dealing. They have a number of obligations to understand the activity, to understand the shareholdings, to understand the main relations they might have with service providers, with customers, where those customers are located, and so on. So yes, indeed, at first it might appear quite complex and complicated to move forward. But all in all, the more the banks understand their customers and their activities and their shareholding, the easier and the better the onboarding process will be. If things are missing, if things are lacking, then obviously very often banks will get back to you. They will ask a lot of additional questions. You might not necessarily always understand why this is required, but basically here the main recommendation or the main attention point is to be as complete as possible with all the information you can provide. The more you can provide to explain who you are, what you are doing, what you intend to do with the activity, the better and the easier it will be for the bank to understand where you want to go and to also understand how things can move forward. Once this has been done, obviously, next step would be to submit your file, your application with all relevant information and documentations. In the case of Post, we have over 40 shops across Luxembourg with very large opening hours. You can pop by when you want, but there's obviously also the possibility to book for an appointment at the shop and the time of your convenience. So that's your free choice. And that's also where there's going to be another authentication being done. So where the file will be reviewed together with you and where also potential open questions might be raised at first. And then basically next step happening afterwards is indeed that the file will be analyzed and all documents provided will be analyzed with the post-finance teams. And in case everything is complete, normally we are around 2 weeks time for opening up the account. So that this can be quite quick. Always depending on, as mentioned, the degree of completeness of the file, but also depending on the complexity of the structure and the activities. In case elements are missing or in case there's a need for clarification, obviously we will get back to you. We will provide you with the information we need in addition to what you already provided. But the important point here, especially if there's a certain urgency from your side, provide a maximum of information, provide a maximum of data as of the beginning, and things will speed up as quickly as possible. last but not least, I mentioned it before, over 40 shops all over the country, dedicated email address for all your questions you might have, be it in regard to onboarding or to other topics. We have a multilingual call center working 6 days a week, from 7 in the morning till 8 at night. And that's basically, in the 15 minutes I had at my disposal, what I can give you as information right now. So if there are any questions, I believe this can be done via the chat function, and we'll get back to them afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claude, for the presentation. We will continue with Jean-Luc. In the meantime, until Jean-Luc presents his slides, I just wanted to say again, emphasize that you can really write all your questions in the chat. And after all the 3 presentations, we will go through the questions and have a 15 minutes Q&A session. But if you have more specific ones, or if there are too many questions, of course, you can also contact the 3 speakers. You will receive the slides with the contact information and also the recording. And we will then continue with Jean-Luc. Yes.
No, that's the wrong. Just one moment. Okay. I'll give it a second try. Okay, so thank you, Claude, for your presentation, which is quite similar to my presentation. So I don't repeat every point that Claude has just said. I will concentrate on the monitoring afterwards and the financing. However, I want to introduce Spuerkeess as well. So Spuerkeess is one of the oldest financial bank in Luxembourg. So it's has been created in 1856. We are state-owned 100% by the Luxembourg state. We have a really good rating. We have total balance sheets over 56 billion euros, and we are one of the safest banks in Luxembourg. So this session is quite similar to what Claude has already said. So I will concentrate myself, as I said before, basically on the banking regulation and on the funding. However, for me, what is really important to understand is why you need a bank account and why sometimes it can be complex. As Claude has said before, there are banks that want to open a bank account for startup because it's complicated and it's not easy even for the bank because you have to comply to regulation. However, Spuerkeess and as well Post has decided not only because the owner has said so, but because we really want to open the account, we have decided to open the account, and usually everyone gets a bank account as far as we have an AML and KYC compliancy, that we have a proof of viability, and that we can also secure the ongoing monetary obligation that we need to comply to after the account opening. So the impact of the regulation is that we really need information. We do it on longer approval times that is linked to that we have to check everything that you say. And if you don't have transparency, your account opening application can be rejected. For Spuerkeess, everyone can open an account, so it can be an SRL, an SR, an SCA, an SRLS, and also for non-resident companies, you can also open an account. However, what we have to see is that there is a link to Luxembourg. So if you only have a foreign non-resident company that has no link to Luxembourg, unfortunately, we will not open an account for you. However, if you have a relation to Luxembourg, if you have employees here in Luxembourg, if you have your offices here in Luxembourg, there might be no reasons why we shouldn't open an account. These are the information that we request, but it's similar to what Claude has said. Our process is similar, so you have to prepare your application, submit it to the bank. We will do our due diligence review. We will approve and activate the account, and if it's a newly incorporated company, we will also establish the blocking certificate. We have a dedicated, on the website, we have a dedicated web page where you can onboard via online. So you have every information that we require, and you can, for existing company or company that are being incorporated, you can submit your account opening obligation. The processing time is quite similar to what Claude has said. So for corporate accounts, it's usually 5 to 10 days, business days. For complex structures, that can depend on if there are holding companies or multi-layered ownership, then that might be take a longer time. So I put here between 2 and 8 weeks. And for non-resident companies, it's similar. It's between 2 and 8 weeks. We also have an offer, welcome offer for entrepreneurs. This is mainly for new corporate accounts for businesses that are opening their first company account. And you have what is included is a current account, credit cards, online banking, financial solution that I'm talking about a little bit later, and you have a rent payment guarantee without counter guarantees up to 3,000 euros. Well, this was the fun part. So usually we open the account for every Luxembourgish or non-resident company as long as there's a link to Luxembourg. But afterwards, we also have to monitor your account. That's really important, and that's also to understand what we have to do. So there are major key components for bank monitoring process. So we have to check the account and the transaction. We have to detect suspicious activity. We have to understand who you are. So we have to understand who is behind the company. We have to challenge everything which is linked to financial terrorism and anti-money laundering. We have to comply to some risk for the bank. There are also real-time alerts. Sometimes we need to contact you in order to see if these transactions comply to your activity. We also have an internal and external audit, and we have to do some reporting on for regular compliance. So this is quite similar. It's really important that we do this, and in order that your account can remain open or isn't frozen. So this is also important for you, that you update your company records, especially if there's a change in the ownership. Especially for startups, you have sometimes equity rounds where there are new shareholders, and you think about everything, just you forget to inform the bank. And if we have the information on a different way, we have to contact you. But the best thing is that you upfront inform the bank that there will be an equity round, that there will be new shareholders, and it's like opening a new bank account. We have to have all the information about these new shareholders. It's really important that you do it promptly, so that this is okay. And we also have to ensure that the tax compliance, such as CRS or FACTA, is okay. And also, sometimes we have to make sure that the origin of funds, if you are getting money from new ownership or from a customer of you, you have to inform upfront that there's money coming to the account. And this is unfortunately a page that is not so nice, but these are the consequences. If we don't meet the KYC AML requirements, we have to suspend the activity of your account or even close it. And if you forget to update, for instance, beneficial ownership, this you can have fine or penalties. It's not coming from the bank, but it's coming from the official from the law. So it's not from the bank, but I just want to inform you that there might be a risk for you, for your activity, if you fail to update your beneficial ownership. The key takeaways from the onboarding and monitoring is that there are a lot of processes. You have to open the account in the first step, and we have to onboard. We have to check the onboarding process. You have to maintain compliance for the account, so there's an ongoing review, and you must also maintain financial transparency for every transaction. But that's not only the only thing that I want to talk about, as we are a little bit complementary to Post. So we are similar in some points and we are complementary to Post. We also offer funding. There are a lot of funding solution sources for a startup. So the first that you know certainly is because it's the personal investment, so that's what you have done certainly until now. You have love money. My wife didn't understand what I meant by love money, so I added family, friends, and fools. She thought it was something different. You have business angel and venture capital. You have also what you that's one of the main reasons why you are here in Luxembourg is that there are government grants and subsidies. And you have bank loans, and you also have NPO structural loans, basically here in Luxembourg, coming from the SNCI. And if you have watched the news yesterday, you see that the Luxembourg state had offered a 3 million euro envelope to the SNCI to finance startup and innovation. Unfortunately, I don't have any further information until now, but we certainly will have a meeting as Spuerkeess with the SNCI to understand what's the deal is about. At Spuerkeess, we offer different kind of financing. So the typical is a mortgage or investment loan, where we can go up to 80%. Everything which is green are green loans, so CSR loans, we can go up to 100%. If you need a short-term overdraft facility or longer-term overdraft facility, we can also put that in place. Financial leasing can also be a solution. And what is mostly needed are bank guarantees. And in our initial offer, there is also a bank guarantee without counter collateral of 3,000 euros. Asking for a loan there's also a regulatory context for banks. So what we have to check is that the repayment capacity is fulfilled over the duration of the loan, and if there are collaterals, we have to value them. We have to see if the value of those collaterals are okay with the loan that we will offer. Also, as I said, collaterals are also important. The typical collateral is a personal guarantee, but there are also a pledge on rental income, pledge on trade or shares, a pledge of cash or securities, a mortgage, of course. But sometimes, and especially for startup guys as you, the personal guarantee isn't worth a lot because you're just starting and you're investing a lot of money in your company, and there's not a lot of collateral behind your personal guarantee, which is also normal. However, there are companies, and that's also why Christoph is in this meeting, the collaterals offering from third parties such as Mutualité, the Cautionnements, Mutualité des PME, ODL, which is basically more interesting for export activity. And we also have signed in March an agreement with the EIF, the European Investment Fund, where we offer, especially for digitalization and innovation, a guarantee that can go up to 70% of the loan that you will require. So basically, that is everything that I want to say, and I respect it's 50 minutes, so I'm happy for you. Sorry about my Luxembourgish English, but that's me, so I'm sorry about that. If you have any further question, just contact me. If you want to open an account, just go to this website of Spuerkeess.lu, and under enterprise and professional, you have a link to opening an account at Spuerkeess. Many thanks, and I will give the word to Christoph.
Thank you, Jean-Luc, for the presentation. While we were just waiting for Christoph to share his slides, we already have 3 questions, one for you, Claude, and one, of course, also for you, Jean-Luc, and one general one. So we will get to them just after Christoph's presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Marielle. Thank you, Jean-Luc. Thank you, Claude. My name is Stein Christoph. I'm from the Mutualité de Cautionnements, an organization that is basically giving guarantees to companies, as we saw before in Jean-Luc's presentation. We are held mainly by the Chamber of Commerce, and we are, as you see on the slide, also working very closely with the House of Entrepreneurship. So I wanted to open some brackets. We now heard a lot about how to open a bank account, how to get in touch with banks. This is not the only topic that is generally very critical for opening a company and that the company is viable. So I wanted to present also a bit a broader picture of the House of Entrepreneurship and what this house can do. It is a creation of the Chamber of Commerce, of the Chamber of Crafts, and the Ministry of Economy. And basically, we guide you through all the stages of your company's life. This from the creation, during growth phases, and after, even if you want to sell or transfer the company, or if you have problems, and in certain cases, before the bankruptcy, we can also provide services. So in the creation, we will first tell you what is a company, what is maybe the best company for you, if it is sole proprietorship, if it's now an SRL, an SA, so you have a lot of choices. We will also explain what is VAT, what are taxes, social security, and all of that. So this is the base. Then the second one is we offer a lot of workshops and seminars. We can mention here, for example, the e-days that are generally webinars or workshops over 2 days on a certain topic, 2 times per year. We have seminars and other tools for digitalization, AI, cybersecurity, selling statistics, and we also have the House of Training, which is a vocational training center for all different trainings that you can imagine. Then we come to the third topic, advice on specific topics and support programs. This will take a little bit longer. So your startup journey companies that have an idea, or I don't know, everybody has created a company, but the Chamber of Commerce or the House of Entrepreneurship is offering you a program that is called Seed. That helps you develop the idea, check your values of your company, the feasibility of the project, the viability. They help you with the business model Canva to structure it, and also in certain cases to do a business plan. There is another program that is called Bloom. that is a little bit later in the process. So there really we go into more concrete consulting. For example, the business plan, fiscal charges, VAT, as I mentioned. There's collective coaching in it, and you get to know how to manage a company. So this might also be very interesting if you have gone through these programs and you can call or say to the banks, I have done these, and they are more in confidence that everything has been checked and that they have everything. We can also mention, for example, here in general in Luxembourg, when you open or sell something, you need a business permit. This is also checked in that process. There are other support programs where you can get in touch with the House of Entrepreneurship, and they link you to an expert of a certain topic. There are 300 experts at our disposal. So if you have a certain problem with one specific topic, don't hesitate to contact us, and we will see if we can provide an expert on that topic. What I wanted also to mention in the House of Entrepreneurship is the large number of partners we have. This is one of the main advantages. So we can get in contact with the banks, but not only with the banks, but also, for example, with Luxembourg Business Agents Network, which is a network that helps you finance the Lux innovation, that is basically there to help get state grants. There we have access to certain incubators like the House of Startups, the Technopole or Pôle Burt, depending on what field you are working. So this is the House of Entrepreneurship. Don't hesitate to ask me later questions. There's a lot of services provided by the House of Entrepreneurship, and unfortunately, I cannot just describe them all in detail. So, what is now the Mutualité de Cautionnements offering you? Basically, we have two services we are offering. That's one's the advice to access to financing, and the other one is the advice on government grants. The third one is the financial guarantee, and that is our main activity. So what we provide on the first one, so we can first say how you can finance in Luxembourg. This is starting at coup de pouce, which is a loan of 5,000 euros without interest. Then you have micro Lux that is generally giving like grants up or financing up to 25,000 euros. And then there are all the banks. As Jean-Luc mentioned earlier, we also then provide information about the two guarantee funds, which is the Mutualité de Cautionnements and the Mutualité de PME. Last but not least, you also have a state bank, apart from the Spuerkeess, which is the SNC, who can also help you finance your project. We also provide in this topic what is, for example, a credit line, what is a loan, and we also consult, for example, if you come to us with your project, we say, have you thought about a credit line? Have you thought about the bank guarantee for the rent, etc., which is often forgotten, and then the financial plan is not as stable as it should be. So let's come to the second topic. So the advice on government grants. There are a lot of grants here in Luxembourg, as you can imagine, and the information is provided by very different instances. So, for example, we provide first information is who to ask for which type of government grant. Everything that is now startups and innovative, it's more or less Lux innovation. Everything that's export, Jean-Luc mentioned it earlier, it's ODL. If you have vocational training, it's the ENFPC. And then you have, for example, you're hiring, you can go to ADEM also to have certain grant, to certain subsidies, on the social security. We provide more information about everything that is investment subsidies. In general, these subsidies go up to 20% for small companies, 10% for medium companies, and 0 for the big companies. It is very complex. You have certain activities that are excluded, certain investments that are excluded. In general, we can say that, for example, everything that is cars, etc., is excluded, or salaries or goods that you are buying to sell them later. Also, here is the good thing is, if you have passed through this, you are more or less sure that you have seen all the different grants that are existing in Luxembourg, and that you have calculated, for example, the size of your company correctly, which also helps you with the bank to finance your project. So let's come to the last topic. It's the financial guarantees, which is our main topic here at Mutualité de Cautionnements. We offer up to 80% of guarantee to a financing of 150,000 euros. This is very interesting for small companies or new creations, which, as Luc mentioned earlier, that have no track record or don't have a lot of guarantees at the beginning. Everything that is going over 150,000 euros, we still can give a guarantee of 50%, up to an amount of €500,000. This is the basic offer. We also give guarantees on credit lines, leasing, loans, and especially also on the guarantee locative, where you can also provide up to 50% of the guarantee for a time that is not exceeding 5 years. If you have now a big project and you're asking guarantees from the state, it might be that these sums are not transferred directly to you once you have done the request. So there is a delay between asking for subsidies and getting the subsidies from the government. In this case, in general, you need to have a credit line or some other bridge financing by the bank. And this bridge financing, we can also subsidize, guarantee up to 80% for you. What are our clients for the time being? Our clients for the time being are more or less people that don't have enough guarantees, but also people that want to switch personal guarantees to our guarantee.
The same slide all the time?
Yes, that's true. That's you don't see that's the financial guarantees is this one. I haven't put detail for this one in it.
Side services offered by them. Okay, sorry.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want to keep it simple so that you can listen. Can contact us, of course. Best to contact also you. How to contact us and how to get our services is just write to us. I will just shortly show you the email address and put us in contact with your bank advisor. This is the easiest way. We are going to phone him, and then we are seeing how we can work together. Later on, we are going to get all the information from the bank. This is the easiest way. And then the only obligation you have from your side is to send us or transfer us a small sum between 0.5 and 1% per year. that's a risk fee for our services. In general, this is not very high, but we can also please call us, Chester, and we will get you the exact amount. So how to stay updated is follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn. You will always have the latest news. Our team is really very active on podcasts, etc. Don't hesitate to follow us. This includes information about the House of Entrepreneurship, Chamber of Commerce, and the Mutualité de Cautionnements. As I said, don't hesitate to contact us. Here again, our contact details. Ideally, you write us an email. We are a very small team of just 4 people, and it's not always possible to take all the phones we get. I thank you very much to listening to us, and I hope we provided the good information that your project is viable.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry. So thank you for all the presentations from all of you. We will just quickly pass for 15 minutes Q&A. I see that we have some questions in the chat, so I will just start basically with the first one. The question goes to you, Claude. It is, how much time to open a business bank account at Post?
We are normally, once again, under the condition that the whole file is complete. Normally we're able to open it in about 2 weeks. So it can vary a little bit depending on the workload or number of files currently analyzed, but 2 weeks is more or less the reference you can take.
For Spuerkeess, it's the same, so it's between 5. It's really, if everything is really easy to understand, 5 days, but usually it's between 2 weeks and up to 4 weeks for corporate activity here in Luxembourg.
All right, thank you. We move on to a more general question. I don't know if who wants to answer this. When is a startup classified as high risk?
I can maybe start, and Jean-Luc will certainly add some more information if necessary. I think, at least in our case, it's not specifically linked to startups. So each bank is considering their customers based on the type of activities they are doing, be it the startup or be it a large multinational company. And so very often it's depending on the sector of activities you're dealing with. If, for example, you are active in the defense sector, if you're in ammunition, if you're trading with gold, or if you have a cash-intensive activity, for example, just to name those, then obviously your bank will ask further questions. They will be maybe a little bit more cautious to understand the kind of business and the kind of activity there is. And so there's no 100% black or white response to it, but it's mostly linked depending on the kind of activity and the kind of sector you're with. Second topic is maybe a link to what countries you are doing business with. If, for example, let's say your service providers or your customers are based in Belgium or France, well, okay, not that much of an issue at all, actually. But if, for example, you're dealing with, I don't know, Iran, Syria, etc., then obviously, once again, the risk criteria and also maybe the questions and the monitoring that is being done will be at another level.
That's completely correct also for Spuerkeess, so I can only agree what Claude has said. It's for us, it's only what we have to understand from the beginning is whom we are dealing with and what is the activity. If the activity is, as Claude said, from Europe, from the greater region, there will be no questions. Well, we have to understand what are the transactions, but it's easy to open the account. If we have to deal with companies who are more exotic, so they have transactions in Asia, they have transactions with countries that we cannot, where it's difficult for us to understand the transactions or that's make it impossible for us to open an account, that might be complicated. But usually, if you are dealing with countries here in Luxembourg, there's no problem.
All right. Thank you very much for those answers. We'll just continue with you, Jean-Luc. There's a question about, you provided a list of funding options. The question is, which of them is eligible to those who do not have full residence yet in Luxembourg?
Well, it's really easy. So we are only doing funding, or banks, Luxembourgish banks are basically only doing funding for companies here in Luxembourg. We are open if under certain conditions to the greater region, but it's really restricted and limited. For us, we are just open for financing here in Luxembourg, basically, and as well as the SNCI. And what is really important is that there's a real cash flow. So if you are coming to Spuerkeess, well, just after having incorporated your company, the answer will be negative, I guess, to give you a grant or a loan, excuse me. But it's normal. We have to understand that there's recurrent revenues that you can repay the loan that we will put in place. And usually you can only do this if you have cash flow that is generated. So basically, in the beginning, you have to put some money out of your pocket in the beginning, then you go to friends or family, what I call love money, and afterwards you go to business angels. If you are not in Luxembourg, there are local business angels as well around Luxembourg or in Europe. And if you are getting bigger and bigger, you go to venture capital, who will also might open you opportunities to develop your company. But you are only going to banks if you have recurrent revenues, and for the SNCI as well. But there are also local banks around Luxembourg. So if you are not yet here in Luxembourg, as the question was asked, so you have to go to a local bank in your country where you are still where you still have your offices.
Thank you for this extensive answer. We have 2 more questions to go. The next one is, how far are PostFinance and Spuerkeess with the instant payment rollout? Can we build upon these services?
Well, we do offer, and Claude can also add his answer to this question. We do offer instant payment, but it also depends on the counterparty bank. So yesterday, for instance, I had a customer who asked, do you offer instant payment? The colleague said yes. Unfortunately, the other bank didn't offer it. So the money didn't arrive in time. Unfortunately for the guys, the transaction was cancelled, but you have to check that both banks are offering instant payment. And usually, if you have to inform the bank upfront in order to cancel any risk that might be linked to the transaction, so that the instant payment can be done instantly.
And for us, we are currently offering instant payment for inbound flow. So meaning if, for example, you do wire transfer from Spuerkeess account to Post, it will be instant. For the outbound, we're currently working on it, and this will also be coming in the upcoming weeks and months. So we're on it, and it will happen very quickly.
All right. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. I think we can wrap it up. If you have more questions, you can always contact the 3 speakers. As I said and mentioned before, you will receive the recording and the slides. And yes, thank you for joining this webinar, and hopefully see you to our next physical event in April, where you will also get the information later on. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.